Maybe it's not totally obvious, but I kind of like the first Dead Rising. I know, I keep that fact very private. Oh, wait, no, never mind. Yeah, that's pretty obvious, isn't it? Well, here's the thing. I can't really explain why I like the first game. After countless attempts through video or whatever, it never really came off as a clear answer and ended up just being story time. So giving a clear and concise answer to why I picked the first Dead Rising out of every game in the world to make a channel based around is more so just because I like it. You see, when I first got Dead Rising back in 2007, I didn't even really know what a beta for a game was. More so, I didn't really care. I enjoyed Dead Rising for the reason of it being fun. It was an awesome zombie game, had a really compelling story to it, and it really ended up being one of the greatest games I ever played. But back then I never made videos on the game, or at least I sure as hell never talked about its history before, because I didn't even know its history. I spent a large portion of my early teen years enjoying the game for what it was on the disc, a zombie game. It was fun, well made, and it was just great. But when I started high school, I started to play the game less and less. But this wasn't because I became disinterested in the game. No, it was because I played it so much in the past that now I didn't really feel like playing it more. However, the important thing is that it never stopped being my favorite game. I just stopped playing it. I can definitely agree that I got bored of it, but I never stopped thinking of Dead Rising in a positive way, despite never mustering up the want to play it. It was always number one on my list, and it forever will be. After a long break, I eventually got my first modified Xbox 360, and after spending almost a year of constantly modding Halo and various different games, I got the clever idea to check out what can be done with Dead Rising, which of course I imagined not much at the time, and to no surprise, there wasn't much that can be done with it. What I found out, however, is that no one had really taken a crack at the game yet. Aside from the common trainer here and there, that was it. I started realizing that if I was to bring actual mods to the table for Dead Rising, real, authentic edits to the files and the executable, that I might be the first to do so. So I started messing around with the game in terms of editing RAM, creating game saves, using the JTAG, easy stuff. And of course, I started posting my findings of what I did with the game on YouTube. And really that has carried on till this day. Sure, my content has likely improved, but I'm still doing the same exact thing that got myself reinvested with Dead Rising, exploring it. My channel took a sharp turn near the end of 2013, and this was because I started learning about Dead Rising's beta history. I started slow because I didn't really know what I was looking for. I watched a few early trailers that I knew I've seen before, but this time I was genuinely trying to research the trailers, see what was actually different from an early 2005 trailer compared to what's in the final game. I stuck to this for many months, and it became more of an obsession to learn about Dead Rising's history, because I never invested any of my time into it back in the day, and I was now realizing that I was missing out on a huge chunk of this game. I found that, sure, the final game is amazing, and it always will be, but I noticed that many of the things in the beta of Dead Rising was just simply more interesting to learn about than the actual game was to play. I created the Dead Rising beta history analysis thread in mid-2014 as just a fun project. It was to push myself to see how much I can learn from just carefully analyzing the tiniest details in trailers, images, concept art, stuff like that. And by the time I knew many builds of the game and the major concernable differences between them, I was already on a whole new level. I found this new reason to want to invest my time in it. To me, after all the years of playing the game, my biggest passion of Dead Rising blossomed into its history. I have never found a game with development history nearly as rich as that of Dead Rising. Dead Rising has some of the most interesting concept art, changes in development, story paths, character redesigns that I've ever come across. I knew then that I wanted to dedicate a YouTube channel solely to Dead Rising, being it mods of the game like I used to do, or the history of the game, which has been the main focus of the channel these days. One of the most important things that I want to just mention in this video, that I cannot stress enough, is that my channel is simply and will forever be a Dead Rising museum. This is the first time I've ever announced my channel that way, but I want it known. I know that I have been uploading less and less over the past few months, and that's because of many reasons. Sure, there's becoming less and less to talk about with one single game, but that's not the reason for lack of content. The lack of content is simply being busy with life stuff, that's all. And I know all of you understand this, so it's all good. But one thing I want to make very clear is that if I ever was to stop making these videos, be it because I lose the interest or I just want to move on to other things, I want to assure everyone that this channel will remain a Dead Rising channel. I've made a promise to myself many years ago that I would never taint the purity of this channel with other videos of other games. And the reason for this is that I don't care for views or subscribers. If I want to mod another game or do whatever, I'll simply make new channels. I've made this channel to document and mess around with my favorite game, and it just so happens that over 4,000 people also want to be part of the adventure. I'm not going anywhere anytime soon because there is so much left to do with Dead Rising, and hey, even some things with the sequels maybe. I just want everyone to be aware of long upload delays because my main focus is making the best quality content I can for you all to enjoy, rather than pumping out a video every 2 days like I used to. Sadly, good videos take a while to make, but you know, that's just life. Thanks for watching, and as always, subscribe for more.